What's up? What's up? It's your boy Ola here with Ola TV. And in this edition, we're going to go ahead and talk about, is it worth it? Cryptocurrency. Are the markets dead? Is it still worth investing into? We're going to go ahead and talk about that right now. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Here we go. All right, guys. So here it is. Here it is. Let's see. Is it going to be worth your time to go ahead and still continue to invest? And for those of you who are not already invested, is it worth getting in right now? First off, before we go ahead and get started, got to give you the usual spiel so you guys know. Here is the disclaimer at the bottom, just letting you know that this is not financial advice. This is just my own opinion. All the content is for educational purposes only. Again, this is not financial advice. Any investments you make are your sole responsibility. Past performances are not indicative of future results or outcomes, and you got to make sure to invest for what's feasible and optimal for your own portfolio. Again, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice, but here we go. Let's kick it off. So, to go ahead and get started, Coinbase right now expects that Ethereum will begin staking yields as high as 12% APR after the merge. Now, what does that mean to you? Why is that important information? By the way, this article was written February 25th, 2022 at 11:12 a.m. And so that was roughly about 5 or 6 days ago. Today is officially March 1st, 2022. So roughly that was, I would say, about 6 days ago. But anyways, what does this mean to you, right? Why does this matter? So some of you may already know what staking yields are. You may already have investments in that, and you may already be in the game. So you may already be familiar with this. But with those individuals that have not yet tried this out or invested in this, what this basically means is that, let's say, for example, if you're going to do staking with Ethereum, there's many coins right now that are starting to offer this as an option. Ethereum was one of the first ones, obviously to uh, create this opportunity. The other coin that also started doing this was Crow, used to be called the crypto.com coin. Now it's called Kronos. So they do it as well. I think they do somewhere between 5 to 8%, somewhere like that. Pretty decent yield. Ethereum right now, more or less around that same average. I don't really keep too much tabs of the staking yields. However, with this one, I may eventually get into it because this is very interesting. This one is saying 12% possibility, somewhere between 9 and 12%. 12% is the goal for Ethereum to start staking. So what that means is, yeah, it's almost like if you were holding it basically like in a savings account where you're just leaving it there, you're allowing it to accrue interest. That's basically, in layman terms, Ethereum staking yields, that pretty much means about the same thing. So you'd be accruing interest. Now, what's the difference between, let's say, for example, if you were staking Ethereum versus if you were to put, let's say, your US dollar, your euro, or whatever other fiat currency, let's say you were to compare that to how it operates with a bank. Well, a big difference is that, first of all, no bank is going to give you up to 12% APR, for you to be able to accumulate interest. So that right there is really good as far as like the crypto space getting, started with helping, individuals who want to make passive income. Another reason this might be important to you is like if you're one of those people that you want to invest, but you're not too sure, if you want to do day trading, you're not too sure if you want to get into Forex, you're not too sure if you want to buy low and sell high, the pump and dump strategy. If you're just not sure, this one right here could be a better route for you because this, technically speaking, can be considered as passive income because you will be accumulating, more cryptocurrency as you have it staked. Now, the difference, another big difference you have to take into account compared to a bank is that if, let's say, you have your money in a savings account, typically, as long as you don't go below the minimum threshold, the bank is not going to penalize you, and therefore you're able to take funds out of the savings account or sometimes transfer those funds from your savings to your checking account. So there's that key difference. With staking yields, it's a little different. You're not going to be taking your crypto in and out as you please. So if, let's say, you ran into an emergency, you're not going to be able to take it out. Why is that? The reason is because, let's say, for example, you had 100 Ethereum, right? Which I'm pretty sure nobody has that much Ethereum unless you're like a big, uh, you know, institution or something like that. Because right now, Ethereum is worth almost $3,000 now because it's going back up. If you times that by 100, that's a big, big dollar amount. So only the whales have probably that much. But anyways, let's say you had 100 Ethereum. You decided to go ahead and stake it because you want to make either the 12% APR. They are going to hold that crypto for 1 year. Okay. So you can't like dip in and out. Once you stake it, it pretty much is like it's going to go into, I think it goes into like a locked wallet. And that crypto is not going to be able to be, touched. Now, can you buy more crypto? Yes, you can buy more crypto, obviously, but are you going to be able to touch the initial amount that you put into the stake? That initial amount you will not, and whatever interest is being accrued, you will not. So it's kind of like, you have to wait that year. So if you're more into a situation where it's going to provide discipline to you, and it's also going to provide you passive income, or not, I shouldn't say passive income, but, be able to accrue, something similar to interest, this may be, a better route for you if you're not, disciplined and you're not confident in what it is that you're looking for as an investment strategy. So moving right along, why else do you think it would be important to invest into the crypto space? So here's another indicator for you, letting you know that it's being adopted and welcomed by many other countries, institutions, etc. So this one says crypto adoption in Latin America continues to soar. This article is recent. It was written on February 24, 2022, so roughly about a week ago. And basically, from what I read on this article, it says that the level of cryptocurrency adoption in Latin America continues to grow despite the uncertainty of the surrounding global financial markets. Now, why is it uncertain? Well, because, the whole possibility of the World War III and everything going on between, Ukraine and Russia, all of that has caused a lot of people to have fear, and it's caused a lot of global financial markets to have dropped. But which we'll talk in a moment after I finish a couple of these articles here. But the markets are starting to restore themselves. So I'll be showing that in just a moment. But that's the reason why it says the uncertainty portion. But here it is. It says countries in the region are proposing laws that favor the adoption of cryptocurrencies. So many of you might have known that last year in September of 2021, El Salvador had already adopted the use of Bitcoin as legal tender. But who else is getting into the game? So it says other countries like Argentina, Brazil, Panama, Paraguay, and Mexico are also looking to join the trend. Okay. With some type of a friendly crypto regulatory framework. So they're going to try to do something where they can get crypto as some form of legal tender in their country. Will it be the main, form of currency? Maybe, maybe not. But the fact that these other countries in Latin America are starting to open their eyes and looking to get into it, that should be another indicator that we're still in the very early steps right now, in the early stages of cryptocurrency. And even though there's been a lot of people who have become thousandaires and millionaires, and we're like, a lot of people think, oh, there's probably no more money that we can make in this space. Now there's still opportunity. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but there's still opportunity. So that section right there is letting you know that there's still opportunity out there. And the previous section that I showed you before with the staking yields, if there was an opportunity, why would these how do I say, these apps, these blockchain exchanges, why are they going to start increasing the staking yields percentages for the APRs? Obviously, that's a huge indicator. You, like I always tell you, wherever the money goes, that's where you follow. That's a huge indicator, okay? Because Coinbase is already stating that Ethereum is going to start doing 12% APR on the staking yields. That should let you know. And whenever Ethereum or Bitcoin do something big, altcoins tend to follow, and they tend to adapt, and they tend to apply. So you want to make sure you're getting in the game early as possible. We're still, believe it or not, still in the early stages of crypto. The next indicator, right? Check this out. This is an article that was here, released by CoinDesk. What does the article say right there for you, right? This particular article is another indicator. This one, let's see, what's the date on this? February 28th, 2022, 11:33 a.m. Eastern time. So this one is less than 72 hours ago. No, excuse me, today's March 1st. This is less than 24 hours ago. Okay, this was just written yesterday. Bank of America sees no crypto winter given user adoption, developer activity growth. Okay, it says still crypto market upside will likely be limited for the next 6 months by Fed tightening and macro headwinds. And so they have this little picture here showing you winter. Now, what is this article basically talking about? Well, to summarize this article, what it's basically stating is that Bank of America is boldly stating that they don't believe that there's going to be any type of downfall, uh, either in short term, long term, when it comes to crypto. Are there going to be dips? Of course. Are there going to be, moments where the markets look like it's crashing? Of course. That's always going to happen, as time goes on. But, in the long term, you're always, if you're looking at the graphs, whether it be in stocks, cryptos, etc., you're always going to notice that the graphs are going up in the long term. Even when you have the dips or the drops or the things that look like market crashes, it still goes up, it still recovers. And in crypto, it's always a lot of volatility. So if it goes down really quick, it's only a matter of time before it jumps really quick. If you look at this screen right here, Bitcoin's already at 43,138. If you looked at it a few days ago, let's say 24, 48, or 72 hours ago, you would know that crypto was, looked like it was tanking. It was in the red. And if you notice, Bitcoin, among all the altcoins, the other coins as well, they were all tanking. It looked like they were just tanking. Everybody was concerned. The fear started growing. People started liquidating. And look at Bitcoin now, 43,000. So that goes to show you that just because it had dropped, close to 30K does not mean that it was crashing. It did that even before, many years ago, when it used to be worth like $300, $400, $500, and then it went up to about, what was it? I think it went up to like 5K, and then everyone started, liquidating, because once it started going down, it had went back down to like, I think it was like 1,000 or 2,000 or $800. Like, I forget what the numbers are, but anyways, that's an example. It happened, almost a decade ago. It happened again now. And what does that tell you? It means now it's going to start transitioning back to the upward direction. It will still have dips in between, but again, that's an indicator. So Bank of America and also the recovery is showing you this may still be an opportunity for you. So on the next one here, here's another huge indicator for you, okay, that we are still early in this space. eBay is looking to add crypto payment options, okay? If eBay didn't think, okay, think about this for a sec. If eBay didn't think, and I'm gonna show you this picture. They have this funny picture here of this girl like this, looking super shocked. Okay, that's how a lot of people are gonna be once they figure out this news. But check this out. This article, 17 hours ago, okay, at 10 o'clock in the morning on February 28th, which was yesterday, 17 hours ago, not even 24 hours ago, eBay puts this out here on investing.com and says they're looking to add more cryptos. And some of the ones that they're looking to add, I think it's supposed to be, of course, the typical one, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I think I heard that even maybe, who knows, Shiba Inu might actually be one of the coins that they're actually thinking of going out there, because Shiba Inu, as I've talked about in the past, has created a lot of value with a lot of partnerships. And even though it initially started as a meme coin, now it's not a meme coin anymore. It's still looked at from some people from afar as a meme coin, but the coin has a lot of stability now and a lot of partnerships. And so it's growing, and its infrastructure is also going to get better once Shibarium and all these other things, start getting released. So think about this. And it says that the reason why eBay's doing this also is because they want to attract basically, like more Gen Z and millennials, because millennials and Gen Z are the typical ones who are investing in crypto spaces. Typically, the baby boomer generation isn't really into it unless they're, like a financial institution, kind of like Bank of America, Chase, etc. But if you notice, not too long ago, all these banking institutions were basically, pooping all over cryptocurrency, saying it's not going to make any money, it's not going to do this. And now all of a sudden, if you notice, anytime they talk about the S&P, the Dow Jones, and all that stuff on the news or on the financial networks, what do they have side by side next to it? They've got the crypto numbers, because they know this is real. And the reason why they don't want people to instantly jump on it is because of the fear of so many people becoming instant millionaires. And as you know, if you know how it is, if you live in the US like I do, I don't know about other countries, but if you live here, they don't want you making a quick buck. And if you do, they want to make sure that they know about every single dollar you're making. Because why? Uncle Sam, who ain't my uncle, but they call him Uncle Sam for our country. They want him to be able to take every penny that's owed in taxes. And right now, since there's not a lot of regulation on crypto, and as you guys know, because of the war with Ukraine and Russia, it has the U.S. kind of distracted at the moment, and the U.S. was supposed to release some type of update on what the regulation was going to be in the crypto space. And what ended up happening is that that's getting pushed back a little bit. So that could be a reason also why you notice that the crypto is now jumping up. People are having confidence again because there's not going to be a regulation anytime soon due to the war. So the war is kind of delaying, laws from being passed in the U.S. as far as regulations is concerned for crypto. So that's why I think a lot of people are starting to regain that confidence, and also because the war hasn't impacted the crypto space as bad as people thought, because it did make the space dip a bit, but not to the point where it dropped Bitcoin to, let's say, like 10,000 or $5,000. People were thinking that that's what was going to happen due to the war. Since it didn't happen, and it was able to stay within that 33K range, and then it started going up, that confidence started boosting people to reinvest, and that's why the space is still looking good. And you see that the institutions, even during the war, are still looking to throw their money in. Why? Because this is a great time. Because right now they want to make sure they get their best bang for their buck, and that's how you do it. You do it when it dips. So because of that reason, that could be another indicator for you, telling you right there that there's opportunity. And you've got to see that as opportunity. No one can convince you, no one can tell you differently. If you don't agree with what I have to say, that's perfectly fine. But if you do your own research, pick the coins that you think are best for you, and whatever you think is feasible to your portfolio, add them in. Now check out this other indicator here. Let me go ahead and load this up here. Give me a second. Just trying to get that pulled up. Okay, so here's another indicator letting you know that crypto is here to stay, right? So don't, again, follow the money, don't follow the fear, don't follow all the hoopla and all the nonsense going on the news, right? So check this out. Ukraine raises over $13 million in crypto to help fight Russian invasion. Now think about this. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest news is out there right now, right? Look at this. They even got a photo of like a spot where you can like, you know, get different kinds of coins in the crypto space. And this was written on February 28, 2022. Again, more big news on February 28, right? All of these articles so far have either been the 28th, 25th, 24th, but most of them have been yesterday. A lot of them have been within the same week, within 5 or 6 days. So a lot of big news coming on. This is why I think also crypto just keeps, boosting up right now. That's why it had that big volatility and a positive impact. So think about this for a sec. If it's really going to disappear, for those that don't have confidence in the market anymore, why would Ukraine raise $13 million in crypto versus doing it in their own currency? Why would they raise that in crypto to fight the Russian invasion? Like, like this couldn't be more of a bigger indicator than anything else that I just showed you. Like you've got the banking institutions, You've got eBay, and you've got all the other stuff I mentioned with Latin America and everything else. But if you didn't believe in anything that I just said, if you didn't believe in anything before, you've got to believe in this right here, because this is essential to current events. This is vital, and this right here is showing you that it is pivotal to what is going on right now as we speak. The war that is going on right now between Russia and Ukraine is happening for real. There's lives being lost for real over there. Families are being separated for real. And you have crypto assisting Ukraine. How are they assisting? Because it's a currency that they're able to utilize to raise funds to be able to stop Russian invasion. Imagine if crypto wasn't there. Would they be able to raise $13 million to be able to assist in fighting Russia, the Russian invasion? Because the existence of crypto, because crypto is here and it exists, Ukraine was able to go ahead and do a $13 million. They were able to raise $13 million in crypto. Think about that for a second. And then look at this article here. This is another article that's going to tell you that is indicative of this specific one. And if you don't believe this, now check this out. Let me show you this. The Russian ruble plunges nearly 30% against the dollar amid sanctions over the Ukraine invasion. So you've got those two things working hand in hand. You've got the ruble, which is the Russian currency. You've got that tanking, right? And then on the other side, you have Ukraine raising 13 million, not in ruble, but in crypto. So you see how crypto is helping Ukraine get above and beyond in like the positivity of the crypto existing, right? Because if crypto never existed, Ukraine would probably be SOL. But think about that. Piece those two things together. The currency over there is going down, crypto's going up, and Ukraine uses which currency? They use crypto. They raised 13 million in the crypto space. Think about that. Put those two together. Okay? All of this happening simultaneously. Who knows what would be happening to Ukraine right now if cryptocurrency did not exist? Okay? You got to think about that because that's crucial. That's big time news. Look at this. Look at this other article here. Check this out. Look at this. What does that say? Bitcoin demand explodes as Russian ruble collapses to less than a penny on the dollar. Less than a penny on the dollar. I think I have it posted here somewhere. Let me check really quickly. But if I'm not mistaken, what that article is telling you, and I think I had it posted here before, but I can't. I got so many tabs open, so excuse me here for a sec while I try to click through them really quickly. If not, I'll just Google it again. But when I had Googled it, it showed that I think it's one Russian ruble is now equivalent to a penny in US dollar. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it was saying. Let me Google real quick here. Yep, here it is. So I Googled it. Let me reopen it. Check this out. The proof is in the pudding, right? Don't take my word for it. What does that show right there? What does that show? Matter of fact, let me zoom in a little bit in case for any reason, if that's not showing clear enough. What's this? What does that say? One Russian ruble is the equivalency of a penny in US dollars. So think about that. If you had $1,000 in your bank and you wanted to go splurge and you were in Russia and you had 1,000 US, you'd be living pretty good right now. Whether it be on vacation, whether it be you living there, permanently, you'd be doing pretty good. Now, granted, I don't think anybody's going to be really moving from the US to Russia, considering the current events, but just trying to paint a picture for you that look at that currency, right? One of their currency over there is equivalent to one penny over here. Like, could you imagine? Like, you wanted to buy just a sandwich over there, like a sandwich over there, $5, let's say a $10 for a sandwich over there would be equivalent to 5 pennies or 10 pennies here. Could you imagine buying a sandwich in a store for 10 cents or 5 cents in the US? Because that's what it would be essentially equivalent to. Like that's mind-boggling. That'd be crazy. So, their currency is impacted, it's dropped. Ukraine raised 13 million in crypto, and you've got to think about how special crypto is right now, helping Ukraine through this crisis. The existence of the crypto world is here to stay and is essential during the current war right now. Who would have thought that crypto would have came so far, that it would have helped people like this? And as you guys know, I always like to share this one because this one is always essential, letting you know what current events look like as far as the fear and greed. And as you guys know, if you're not new to the channel, but I'll explain it anyways, this graph right here, the red tells you if people are in fear, the yellow tells you neutral, the green tells you we're good to go. But you can actually, anything from from like yellow and up is good. So if you see like a 48, 49, 50 and up, you know that we're going in the right direction. So check this out. 1 month ago, it was a fear of 29. This scale goes up to 100. The fear was a 29, right? So, excuse me, I accidentally pressed something. Okay, I think we should still be good. So the fear was a 29, okay, about roughly 30 days ago. Then last week, just a week ago, it was a 20. So there was even more fear because it went from 29 to 20. Yesterday, check this out. Yesterday, and look, if you look at this graph here, which I'll zoom in a little bit on it, check this out. I mean, it might be too much, but look at this here. If you see where my little cursor is, I'm sure you can see that there. March 1st, 2022 was the last time this updated. This usually updates every 20 to 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes it has a lag on the weekends, but for the most part, look at this. Last update, March 1st. So if March 1st is today, which I'm on March 1st as well, probably you are too, yesterday would be what? February 28, 2022, because there's only 28 days in February, unless there's a leap year, it's 29, right? So 28 days in February, which means yesterday, this was at a 20. Look what it says it's at now, which is less than 24 hours later. It's neutral at a 51. So this jumped 31 points. Again, why? Because people started seeing that the whales were still holding. People started seeing that the war was no longer impacting the crypto space. People started hearing about these institutions. There's a lot of positive feedback that I just showed you from, Latin America, from eBay, from Ukraine raising 13 million of money in cryptocurrency. All of these different positive things are impacting the crypto space in a good way. So if you bought the dip, your money's starting to come back up. And then also, if you had reinvested in the dip, you know that you're starting to profit. So this right here is telling you how quickly cryptocurrency can change. So for everyone who is in fear and making you scared, don't pay attention to the mouths and don't pay attention to the people. Look at the numbers, look at the graphs, look at the articles, look at the facts, look at what the institutions are doing, look at what Latin America is doing, look at what the whales are doing, still holding during the whole crisis of the war, still holding when we were at extreme fear at a 20 out of 100 on the fear and greed index. These are all indicators that you need to pay attention and follow the money. And again, not follow the nonsense, the distractions, everything trying to cloud your judgment, everything trying to scare you. This is why you should always, always pay attention to these things. These are indicators for you. You know how they say there's red flags? Well, there's green flags. These are green flags for you. Everything that I've just shown you, all happening literally on the same day, all on the 28th. This all happened yesterday. There's only 2 or 3 articles that I've shown you that happened before the 28th. But everything else, for the most part, has been on the 28th. And boom, look at this. We're in a 51. And I've been saying that I expect from after January, all the nonsense happens and people start getting their tax money and people start saving again and people start recouping from the holidays. What did I say? And I said this in previous videos. If you go back to some of the crypto videos that I did, I said from February to March, you will start to see there's a trend. And it happened last year and it happened, the year before. There's a trend going on that between the months of February, March, April, and May, you'll see that there's a trend where everyone's getting reinvested. And this year, there's no different. We went from a 20 yesterday in extreme fear to a 51 in less than 24 hours. That doesn't always happen that quickly. Usually you'll see like a 20 go to like a 28 or maybe like a 32. But to jump 31 points in less than 24 hours, that's crazy. And you're looking at the graph, so I'm not, I'm not shooting air up your butt. You know what I'm saying? So this is all truth and this is all facts. Check this out too. This may not be directly related to crypto, but I think it's very important, and this could be another reason why Russia is being impacted as far as the value of their ruble. This could be one of the things. Look at this. YouTube. Check this out. YouTube demonetizes Russia's state-owned channels, citing extraordinary circumstances. So basically, because of the war and because of all the negative publicity and everything that the war is bringing, check this out. YouTube has chosen to demonetize Russia's state-owned channel. So what does that mean? That Russia's going to be losing more money. It's already showing through the fact that the Russian ruble has gone down in value. So YouTube is more than likely like, yo, Russian rubles, they're not going to be worth anything, right? And think about it. If it's a Russian state-owned channel and it's on YouTube and it's monetized, how do you think they're going to, generate money? They're going to generate money through paying that channel through their currency, which would be Russian ruble. But also the way that YouTube makes their money is through advertisements. So through advertisements, some of that money goes to the channel that is monetized. Therefore, if Russian channels are not going to provide any ads or any revenue for YouTube, by default, what is that going to do? It's going to impact YouTube paying them out. So I guess YouTube decided to just, on their own regard, they said, you know what, screw this. This is not looking good. We're just going to, remove ourselves completely from what potentially may happen. And we're just going to demonetize those Russian state-owned channels. So that is huge information because that means Russia's going to lose more money. And that's I mean, in a way, that's good because Russia decided to make the choice to do this. So they're gonna suffer on their own accord. They're the ones that decided to make that happen. Here's another bit of news. Check this one out. This is an interesting one. It says that Coinbase is latest exchange to deny Ukraine request to block Russian crypto users. February 28, 2022. Again, a lot of stuff going on yesterday. What does this article mean? So I read through it. I'm just going to give you a summary, basically what it means. What it's basically saying is that the Ukraine minister was saying to Coinbase, shouting out that because of Russia deciding to make this attack, they believe that Coinbase should avoid and prevent Russia from being able to do any more type of uh, uh, how do I say investments or anything related with crypto exchanges. They should block all Russian users basically to have no access to any of the exchanges. That's very interesting. That's cutting kind of deep. If you want to talk about being king petty, this is how you become petty. The country that's looking to invade your country, the country that's looking to take over your space, you out here blatantly shouting them out. And I don't see nothing wrong with this because Ukraine has a right to be petty, especially with what Russia's doing. It's just ironic that they went all the way as far as hitting up Coinbase and telling them, yo, you guys should stop doing business with them. Now, it hasn't been approved or it hasn't been in any motion, that Coinbase is going to refrain from, Russia being able to do any any investments or any business on their platform on Coinbase. But essentially, I mean, if the war, happens to get worse and things happen where it's just looking really bad, who knows? Coinbase might pull off a YouTube, right? They might say, "Yo, I mean, this is bad for business, bad for our business, bad for our reputation." So right now, Coinbase is still trying to be compliant with international sanctions. So whatever that means, right? Because compliance usually means that you have to follow certain, rules and regulations that are implemented between, yourself and said, and said country or said regions. So I would presume that Coinbase probably can't just pull out just like that. They probably has to be a couple of steps in the works to be able to just say, hey, we're not doing business with Russia anymore, until further notice. But what's funny is check out this other article. Ukraine went as far as asking Binance and 6 other crypto exchanges to completely block the Russian users. And this one is dated as March 1st, 2022. So this one is dated as today. So it looks like Ukraine is not stopping, because not only did they speak on it yesterday to Coinbase, but now they're even reaching out to Binance and other crypto exchanges to block Russian users. So the pettiness has not gone away. The pettiness has gone from yesterday into today. So this is like almost where you have like a relationship, and you've got you've got one of the exes just trying to crap all over the other person. So this to me is hilarious, because Ukraine, even if it doesn't go into fruition, it's just funny to me that they're actually taking action to even attempt to convince these exchanges to prevent Russia from doing any kind of business on their platforms. I just think it's ironic. It's funny. I think it's, Russia deserves this negative publicity, because, they made the choice to invade, and that's just what it is. You doing this, and guess what? A lot of this stuff is backfiring on you. And I don't know if you guys seen that funny TikTok video. I don't have it here posted. I should have actually I have it saved on my phone, but I should have actually posted it here on one of my tabs, so I could have shown you. It shows like this huge tank is just sitting in the middle of a highway in Ukraine, and it's like 3, 4, 5 soldiers are there, and they're from Russia. And this Ukrainian pulls up in his vehicle, and he's speaking his native language, but they put subtitles, and he says something like, "Oh, your tank is basically dead. You got no gas. You got no food." They were like, "Do you want me to give you a lift?" They're like, I could tow you back to Russia." Basically being like a smart ass saying, "Hey, I can take you back to Russia if you like." You know what I'm saying? I could take you all the way back to your side of the fence. You know what I'm saying? So they're stuck out there with no food, no water, and no fuel. Now I'm sure eventually they're gonna get assistance, but it's funny that they're stuck out there, and the first vehicle they see is a resident of Ukraine, and he just roasted them right there. You know what I'm saying? And they try to kind of like laugh it off, and then like he drives off, and then the video just cuts off. It's like a quick 30, 60 second video. So again, the irony of the situation. You try to do something you shouldn't be doing, and there you go. All right, so now to close out this video, I just wanted to share one more thing with you. And I think I shared this once. Maybe I didn't share it at all, because I can't recall from my other videos. But if I did, I think I might have just shared it for like 30 seconds, and I really didn't go too in depth. This is another one that you should use hand in hand with the one that I showed you before. The one I showed you before was this one right here, which is the fear and greed index, right? That's the one that I showed you, where it's telling you, how the markets are looking, as far as if it's, up or down, if people are in fear or people are being greedy and they're reinvesting, right? So right now they're kind of reinvesting, so they're getting greedy, which is good. Greed means good, doesn't mean bad. Fear means bad. So if it's yellow or green, you're good. But here's the other one that I've shown before, that I don't think I went too in detail with, and here it is. This one right here. This one is called the altcoin season index, right? This one I shared once. If I didn't share it at all, cool. I'm going to share it now and kind of explain it. I learned this one a few months ago, and it's a good one to look at. So there's three little tabs here, right? It says altcoin season, it says month, and then it says year. So it's already pre-selected on altcoin season. I'm gonna explain it there, and then I'm gonna click the one for year, so you can see why this is beneficial and important if you are investing in crypto space. So look at this. See how it says it's Bitcoin season with an exclamation point and it has a 22. The 22 means, okay, even though it's a low number, and I think the highest on this is 100. This is from 0 to 100. The 22 does not mean that it is like a low Bitcoin season. The 22 means it's a low altcoin season. So if you're investing in altcoins, you're not going to see like huge pumps just yet. Like we started seeing pumps today, of course, but it's saying, in general at the moment, the season, because this goes by seasons. I don't know how many months it indicates, but it goes by seasons. It's saying it's a Bitcoin season. So the lower the number and the more to the left, that means it's more of a Bitcoin season. You should be getting into like Bitcoin and Ethereum, the two bigger juggernauts. If it's closer to the right, the number will be higher. So let's say like the number is 63. The number is higher. That means that you should now be taking time to look into, excuse me, it's telling you that altcoin season is into effect, and now you should be seeing yourself profiting from those investments if you did invest. So the closer to the left and the smaller the number, it means it's Bitcoin season. That means that you're going to be making more money if your money is invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you go to the right side, that means it's going to be more of the altcoins. And actually, excuse me, not Ethereum, because I think if it's closer to Bitcoin, I believe Ethereum usually works the opposite. I think Ethereum is similar to altcoins, where it's just it delivers in its own spectrum. So usually they may sometimes not work hand in hand. They may actually work opposite from each other. But anyways, just to keep it simplified, Bitcoin to the left, lower number to the left, altcoin to the right, higher number to the right. Now, if you scroll down, it will also show you a graph, right? And it will show you indicators here. So if you notice here to the right side, right, you can see that on that graph. Let me see if I can zoom in a little just to make sure it's not too small there. Okay, pause, no pun intended. So you see this on the right, altcoin 75, Bitcoin 25. So those are the parameters. If it's under 25, you're definitely in Bitcoin season. So you should be investing more in there. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is all for educational purposes only, but I'm just reading the graph to you of how the graph shows it. If it's above 25, then now it's starting to get a little more neutral. Like if it's 30, 40, 50, it's in the neutral zone. So you may want to get into both. If it's closer to 75 or up, or even let's say 70-ish, right? 63, 65, 70-ish, that's pretty close to 75. That's more of an altcoin season. And that means that you would want to make sure that your stuff is looking closer to what that graph is showing. So right now it's saying it's more of a Bitcoin season. And then if you scroll down here, it says top 50 performances over the last season. So it looks like the season is every 90 days, because it's saying over the last season, parentheses 90 days. So at least now we answered my, the question where I was trying to figure out how do we figure out what's the amount of days in a season. So this graph is depicting based on 90 days. So if you scroll down here, you will notice that all of these are red, okay, and these are green. So these are showing you the ones that are currently performing really good within the last 90 days. So if it's green, it's been performing really good. And if it's not, it means it hasn't been doing so great. So now look at this. If I do a year ago, right? Because a year ago from today's date, it was a 63. So last year, it was a bit higher at this time. And that was, of course, because of the whole, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, a lot of stuff was, skyrocketing. So that's starting to happen now for us. So eventually you'll probably see we may transition into altcoin season. So last year it was a 63, today. And as you see, look, if you look at the graph, see the 63 is there on gray and blue is 75. So it's pretty close. So it says it is not altcoin year, but it's close to it. So it's close. And then here, look at this. All these coins were green. The one that performed the best was Terra Luna at 1,360%. Okay. And Sandbox at 1,330%. And then Mana at 1,086%. Like, where else are you going to get percentages like that? Like, Your savings account's not going to do that. Your checking account's not going to do that. Credit cards obviously don't do that. Even if they've got 1% or 3% cash back, ain't no credit card or debit card going to give you 1,000% back on cash back. On a great day, you might get 3%, maybe 5%, 8% if you've got like a real high end quality black card or high end spending American Express card. But most of the average people ain't getting those cards. And even if everybody in the globe had those cards, you'd be like lucky to get 8%. This is 1,360%. Like, think about that. There was barely any reds. There was a whole lot more green last year than there was red. So think about that. So, you know, this is a good one to use, I think, if you're trying to determine, is it Bitcoin season, is it altcoin season. So if you decide you wanted to kind of move, some of your funds here and there, or let's say if you don't want to move them around, but you want to decide where am I going to take the opportunity to reinvest more. Well, you could look at these two. You could look at this one for the season. The season will kind of tell you, and then if you see that it's more of a specific season, you can decide to say, okay, I'm going to reinvest more into this one, so I could do, what's called cost averaging, and then the main one that I always tell you to look at is this one, because this one's just going to overall tell you, is it a great time to invest or not. So as you know, if it's in red and it's in fear, that's what I would say. As you know, that's the dip, and that's when you would want to go in right there when it's more on the red. When it's on the yellow, you still can technically get in, especially if the coins that you're currently invested in, or the coins that you want to invest in, or the coins that you want to reinvest in, at that time, yellow may still be good for you because some of the coins may not have skyrocketed. Some may have, and you may have lost opportunity. But there's never really lost opportunity in crypto because, as I said, we're still very early in the stages. Like, if you don't believe me, like, wait till you see what happens in the next 1 to 2 years, 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years. Like, the numbers that we're looking at now, this is small time. This is small time compared to what's coming. Like, think about it. When one Bitcoin was worth $500 and it went to 1,000, and then it went down a little, and then it skyrocketed to 5,000, everybody thought 5,000 was ginormous. Now look at what it is here. 43,500. It just, recovered. It was all the way down to 30K. Then it went to 33. Then it went to 31. Then it went to 32. It kept flirting with that 30 to 33K range, as I told you earlier. And look where it's at now. Like, my phone kept blowing up of alerts. Like, because on my cell phone, I have where, because I use different exchanges. I use like 2 or 3 different exchanges. On one of the exchanges that I use, it lets you hit a star, the star symbol, so you can favorite, certain coins. And it doesn't have to be coins that you're necessarily invested in. It could be coins that you just want updates in the event that you do want to invest. So I have some where I have invested, and then I have some starred where I may want to invest, in the future. And Bitcoin, I don't usually put a lot of my stuff in Bitcoin right now. I put it in a lot of the altcoins, but I have some there, and it was sending me alerts. It was like 33, then it goes 36. Like, it wasn't, and that's the thing about crypto that's so sweet. There's like, it's not gonna go like 32.5 and then 33, like 33,000, then like 34. No, that thing went from 33 to 36, and then like within minutes it went from 36 to 38. And it's like, oh, it went up 10%, it went up another 8%, it went up 15%. Then it went from like 38K, I think it jumped to I think it was like 40, then it went to 41, and then it went to 43, then 44, and then back to 43. So, like, you're not going to see stocks do that. Not even with the stock like Amazon or Tesla. You're not going to see it go from like 4 grand to 20 grand, or like, well, use more closer numbers. It's not going to go from like 4 grand to 6 grand to 8 grand to 10. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that in one day. You will see it long term, but you're not going to see that within minutes, or let alone within seconds, because sometimes the updates happen so fast, they happen within seconds. So you're not going to see that happen like that. But look at this. It was literally days ago. As a matter of fact, it might have been actually 24 hours ago. It was at 32, 33. It's at 43,000 right now. Ethereum did the same thing. Look at the charts. If you're looking at the charts on the right side of the screen, look at these charts. Remember when I showed it last time? If you were watching my video, these charts were all blatantly red, like it was a bloodbath. All of it. Look at all this green. Look at all this green. Look at this. It's getting back into the game. You see what I'm saying? Look at this. Like, and not only that, certain coins are moving around up and down a lot. Sheep, look at sheep, still holding strong at 14. That coin, it used to be around like months ago. It was at like top 10. It was like either number 9 or number 10. Then it dropped for a little bit. But now with all the great news and partnerships that Sheep's having, look at this. It's staying at 14. And even when the war broke out, it stayed at 14. During the war right now, it stayed at 14. Doge still in the number 13 position, even though the coin hasn't extravagantly gone up. And then look at if you're looking at the numbers in the middle, right? Look at this: 1 hour, 24 hours, and 7 days, right? We're gonna go down the list. Right now, the numbers refreshed a little bit, so the numbers look a little different, but they were a lot higher before. They were a lot higher way before. Let me show you really quick what the numbers are now. You've got 13.4% for Bitcoin, right? That's the most current increase in 24 hours. If you look at that within the last several days, it's gone up way more than just 13%, but it's saying within the last 24. But if you look at it from when it was 30 to now, look at this. Then look at the top here. Global currency, right? Cryptocurrency market is at 1.86 trillion. Okay. It was, if I'm not mistaken, the highest it's gone so far is 2.03 or something like that. So it's getting close again. Look at Ethereum, almost $3,000, 10.4%. Tether's not going to change because that's just that's like a fiat. So that's just where you put your money in case you want to put it in there. And to be honest, this is not financial advice, but with all the inflation and all the currencies, especially the US dollar, you'd be better off having it in Tether, or even this one right here, number 5, the USD coin. You'd be better off having it there than having it in a checking savings or actual cash value, because of the inflation of the US dollar. It's hurting us right now. So you'd be better off getting it there. But again, that's your decision, not mine. But if you ever want to not be hurt by inflation, that's one way you can look at it. Look, you've got Binance's coin up 11%. All of these in 24 hours. Look at it, 6.1. Look at Terra Luna, 26.5%. That one had the biggest boost of all the coins that I've seen all day. And check this out. Terra Luna, not too long ago, was out of the top 10. And it's been like back in the top 10, and it's in the top 7 now. Terra Luna, look at this. This number right here. Okay, this is 24 hours. Excuse me, this is the last 1 hour. This is 24 hours. And then this one, I think, is in the last 7 days, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, I scrolled up, look. So 1 hour, 24 hours, 7 days. Terra Luna has gone up 51.7% in 7 days. You tell me, in what CD, savings, Roth account, etc., what investment would you make 51.7% profit in your investment in 7 days? Not in a year, not in 2 years, not in 5 years, not in 10 years. 7 days, 1 week, 51.7. And I was looking at that one pretty closely. I don't have anything invested in it, but I was thinking of doing it, and I was like, let me give it a few more days, right? What's this dollar showing you right here? This dollar figure, $93.82. I'm kicking myself in the foot right now that I didn't invest in that coin a little bit earlier, because the thing was, I had taken some of my, I had reinvested in some coins, and I kind of wanted to diversify my portfolio, so I had reinvested in some of the coins that I already had, plus I had also invested I think in 1 or 2 newer coins that are looking good for not only the short term but also the long term. So I had invested a lot, not a lot, but I invested a decent amount, spreaded it out, and I forgot to do Terra Luna. Well, let me tell you why I'm kicking myself in the foot. Let me open up Terra Luna, and I'm going to show you why. I know this by memory, but I'm going to show you on the chart so you can see why I'm kicking myself in the foot for not having gone with Terra Luna. Look at this graph. Look at this graph. And this is not even the biggest pump. Watch this. Let me go back 7 days. Look at this graph. Look at this graph. Look how sexy that is. Let me try doing 14 days. Look at that graph. Are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me right now? That's 14 days ago. That's not 14 years ago. That's 14 days ago. Check this out. Look at this. It was $57. Let me go back a little more. $56. Let me try doing 30 days because if I'm not mistaken, I think it was at $44. I'm going to hit the 30-day. Look at the 30-day graph. Look at that, son. And people are out here getting stressed and frustrated. Look at this graph. This graph goes from January 30, 2022, current year, January 30 of this year to March 1st, 2022. Today's date, current date. Look at this. If you don't believe me, I'll zoom. Look at this. Look at that right there. What'd that say? Look at these two dates. What does that show you? Current month, current date, current year. Okay? So let me zoom out. Go back to the graph. Okay? Look at how gorgeous and sweet and sexy that graph is. Look at that. 30 days ago, okay? Current year. Let's go over here. Look at this. Look at this where it was at. $44.63. Look at the bottom left corner of the screen. What does that say to you? Sunday, January 30, 2022 at 2200 hours. Okay, 2200 hours is 10 o'clock at night. At 10:01 with 58 seconds, at 10:01 p.m., it was at $44.63. What is it at now? Let's go back up again. $93.73. Can you believe that? I think it has gone up 52%. If you would have invested $100, you would have been at about 200. If you would have invested $1,000, you would have been at 2,000. If you would have invested 10 grand, you would have been at about 20 grand. If you would have invested 100 grand, if you had that much, you'd have been at 200 grand. I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like you paint that picture. Like think about that. That thing is up 52%. And by the way, look at the bottom right corner. Okay, look at the bottom right corner. Okay, if you can see that number, and if you can, I'll zoom in a little bit. Let me zoom in. Okay, look at this number right here. All-time high, $103.34, which was back on December 27, 2021, which is 2 months ago. This is also great news. Why should you also use this website? Which, by the way, this one's CoinGecko.com that I'm using. The other one you can use is CoinMarketCap. For some reason I started liking CoinGecko more. I don't know why, but yeah, I like it more. I guess they both do pretty much the same thing, but I don't know. I guess the look of it for CoinGecko just does it for me, so I switched over. But check this out: $103.34. What does that tell you? What that tells you is that this coin is close to its all-time high, which means that this value of $93.68 is not even the highest that it's been. Although 52% is phenomenal, Terra Luna has more to go. And I think there's more future in Terra Luna, whether it be this year, whether it be next year, whether it be 6 months from now, whether it be long term, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I think this is going to be one of those special ones. This one's going to be one of the special ones. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. You invest at your own risk, but I believe this is going to be a special one. And look how clean cut these charts charts are. But not only the charts and the graphs, but look at the numbers on the right side. It tells you the current price, it tells you the market cap, it tells you the market cap dominance, it tells you the trading volume. Okay, it gives you the 24-hour low and the 24-hour high. Okay, so it was actually at $94.08, so it went down a few pennies, but that's no big deal. And look at this. Not only does it give you the 24-hour low and 24-hour high, but it gives you right here the 7-day low and 7-day high. Okay, 7 days ago, it was at $51.85. So even if you didn't catch it 30 days ago, you could have caught it 7 days ago, which again, I'm kicking myself in the foot that this was just 7 days ago. And I invested in other stuff, which they are going up, but I really should have went into this one because I would have I would have gotten 50% back on my return. Not that I would have taken it out anyway, because I'm doing stuff for long term. You can do stuff for whatever you want, long term, short term, whatever, or just pump and dump day trading, whatever you want to do. But I'm going for the long term. I would have loved to gotten into this one for at least $200. $200 right now would have been 400, right? It's not $1 million, but it's a good start. I was thinking of putting about $200 and seeing where it goes, and if it does good, put more. Should have done it. Would have already had about, if I would have put that 200, I would have had 400. So look at that, $51.85. Even if you didn't catch it 30 days ago at the $44 mark, you could have caught it at the $52 mark, which is only about a $6 or $7 difference, and you would have still gotten close to 2xing your money, because you would have gotten 52% on your return. So think about that. The 2 months ago, only 2 months ago, was at $103. So if you invested when it was high and then you took it out when it was low, that was not smart, because you would have gained your money back. For those that invested when it was high and took it out when it was low because they thought the market was crashing, a good form of strategy, if you're doing cost averaging, is that you would have kept it when it was high, kept it when it was low, and when it was low, you would have doubled down, tripled down, or reinvested whatever you can. Because again, I can't tell you what to invest, but if you would have reinvested and also kept your initial investment as well, right now you'd be sitting at $94. So you'd have been well into profit, and your initial investment, you'd be regaining it back right now as we speak. So think about that. Think about this. All-time low. This is the most interesting one. All-time low. 2 years ago, March 18, 2022. It's not even a full 2 years yet, but all set in 17 days from now, it'll be 2 years. 2 years ago, this coin was 12 cents. 12 cents. It's now $103.34. Think about that for a second. Think about if you would have invested just $100. Think about if you would have invested $1,000 at a 12-cent marker. Let me see if I can pull up my calculator. I'm going to do some math real quick, and then we'll close out this video. I want to appreciate everyone that stuck through. There's always one person that I appreciate the most. Again, even though I may not know you personally, you always are here for my videos, and I want to thank you always for showing support. And you're always on Twitch at the best guy in the biz. You're always here, and I want to thank you so much. Whoever you are, I appreciate you. And hopefully you'll message me one day, because I definitely would want to know who you are, because you're a cool person for staying always from beginning to end on all of my videos. But video is almost over. I didn't want to take up too much time, but I wanted to at least be thorough on this one. But check this out. I don't have the calculator on the screen right now, but let me go ahead and just do on the calculator 1,000. I'll do it verbally for you. You take 1,000, you divide that by 12 cents, right? This is how you do the math. That right there would have been, let's see how much. That would have been 120 coins at $1,000, right? Now let's do 100 divided by 0.12, which is 12 cents. That's the value of when it was. Did I do that math right? Hold on. Let me try doing that again. I think I did it wrong. $1,000, because that looked kind of small. Pause, no pun intended. 1,000 divided by 0.12. Yeah, I did it wrong the first time. I think I did times, not divide. So you would have had 8,333 coins if you bought $1,000 worth of coins at the 12-cent value. Okay, the 12-cent value. $1,000 would have got you 8,333 coins. Now, if you take 8,333 coins, you times that by the current value, right? Let's use the $94.08, because that's our new high. I'll use the current one, so we can be current events. We're not going to use the one from 103, because 103 was 2 months ago. Even though the two numbers are not that far apart, we're going to use current events, right? So we'll multiply 8,333 coins times $94.08. That's the current high. You would have had, Jesus, I don't know why I didn't notice this coin sooner. You would have had $783,968.64. So you would have been a thousandaire, a high thousandaire, close to being a millionaire. Again, $1,000 at 12 cents a coin. 12 cents, because that's what it was, all-time low when it was out. 12 cents a coin at 1,000. And think about this. $1,000 sounds like a lot of money to invest, but think about this. Compare it to how much money you spend on junk, like, a lot of coffees or outdoor meals, or sometimes maybe you spend money traveling, and maybe, and traveling is good, by the way. I'm all for traveling, but sometimes you may spend it when you don't have a lot of money. Think about if you would have just took $1,000 of your money, right? And at that time, if you remember, that's when the pandemic, had made a lot of coins crash, as well as the stocks crashed. That was March of 2020. That's the one the pandemic cases were really rising, right? Think about if you would have been smart and you would have taken $1,000 of that money and invested into the 12-cent mark, left it there for just 2 years, bro. We're not telling you to leave it there till you're 65 or 70 or 62 and a half or whatever the retirement age. We're not even telling you to do that. 2 years later, okay? 2 years later only, your $1,000 would have been $783,968.64. Essentially 784K. 784K, bro. Can you believe that? That's crazy. Now let's do it with $100. It's gonna be less, obviously, but let's do it like for those who don't want to risk too much. Let's do $100 and see what that would have been. $100 divided by 12 cents, it would give you 833 coins, right? So the other one was 8,333. This one's 833 coins. 833 coins on any coin is still really good. Because if that bad boy hits $1, $2, $5, $10, $50, $100, you're gonna be banking. All right. So at $100 a coin, right? It's times that 833 by the current value again of $94.08, bro, you still would have ended up with bank. You would have ended up with $78,368.64. So essentially, you would have ended up with about $79,000 at a $100 investment. That's all. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to invest in. You do it at your own accord. And again, as we stated before, past performances are not indicative of future outcomes and results. But think about that for a second. You would have had close to $78,000 or $79,000 off of $100 that you would have put last year. And if you would have did 1,000, you would have been at close to $784,000. Like, I mean, I didn't know what else to say. You know what I'm saying? Off of 2 years of letting it just sit there, and you're not playing around with it and you're not touching it. Look at that graph. Look at that graph the last 30 days. I mean, you could have gone back. You could have. I wish I would have gotten in back then. I wish I would have knew of Terra Luna back then, because honestly, I don't even think I knew of Terra Luna. If I did, I probably just didn't invest because of all the chaos at that time with with everything that was going on, panning out and everything like that. But think about that for a second. If you would have invested in 30 days ago, you would have made 52% profit. You would have 2x your money. If you would have invested 2 years ago, you would have made either 79,000 or 784,000. And percentage wise, if you would have invested at 12 cents, right? Percentage wise, look at the percent. You would have made 77,173%. Where, in what world, and in what fantasy can a credit card, a debit card, a checking account, a savings account, a CD, a 401k, an annuity account, mutual funds, ETFs, whatever you want to call them, whichever one you want to choose, in what universe and in what world? Matter of fact, in what I don't even know what to say. Like, in what metaverse can you make that kind of money? Which actually, speaking of metaverse, you can actually do that now with the metaverses that are being created. But in what universe and in what galaxy of any institution other than crypto can you perform at 77,173%? Like, you couldn't even make 77,173% in 200 lifetimes with a savings account, or with 1% cash back on your credit cards, or with a 1, 2, 3% interest rate on a CD. You couldn't make that in 200 lifetimes. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, think about that. Let's think about that for a second. In 200 lifetimes, at 70 years, at 70, the average life is 70 to 77 years. Think about that. Take 200 lifetimes, times that by 77 years. You probably still wouldn't make 173,000%. That's essentially 78,000%. 78,000%. Where are you going to make 78,000% besides crypto? So again, I say you invest at your own risk in whatever's feasible to your portfolio. But if you have any fear, you have any doubts, again, switch to this. Use the numbers, and switch to this, and use not only the numbers, but use the graphs, and use these charts down low. And these are indicators that are going to let you know. And if anything else, if you still don't have trust in that, you can trust in things like this, where you're learning new information about yielding. You know what I'm saying? And it's letting you know that the future is here and the future is arriving. You could be looking at things like this that are indicators. You know what I'm saying? That lets you know more people are adopting it. Or you can even look at current events or current wars, things like this. I mean, again, the proof is in the pudding. It all speaks for itself. I don't have to convince. It all tells you right there. All the stories are telling you right there. And if that's not enough, this has got to do it for you right here. The demand for Bitcoin is exploding so much that the Russian ruble is collapsing and is worth 1 penny comparative to the US dollar. And all you got to do is, if you don't believe in the articles and you don't believe in anything that's been spoken of, you just Google it yourself and you get this. It's in the pudding. All the proof, all the pudding you need, it's all right there. So what else can I tell you? That's pretty much, that pretty much says it all. So with that being said, typically my crypto videos, I usually keep them at about the 22 minute mark. But I felt that there was so much positive information in this space today. Instead of dividing this into 2 or 3 different, a series of either episodes or live streams, I figured it'd be better just do one live stream, go through it piece by piece, make sense of it piece by piece, explain it piece by piece, and just not rush the process. Just like your investments, you should not rush the process. Take your time, be patient, and as always, when people are looking like this, okay, you just keep a cool, calm, and collected head, and you just use the tools that I just showed you. You know why? Because you'll be kicking yourself in the foot like me when you don't get into things like, for example, the Terra one. And you know what you'll be? You'll be like this.
Oh, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that.
You've got to be quicker than that. Exactly. Couldn't have said it any better myself in such a short amount of words. Before I go, I do want to go ahead and show you the opportunity for you to be able to either follow me, interact with me, etc. And here are all the So those are the channels, those are the platforms, those are where I'm doing all of these live streams. They're all going to be available for recaps. So if for any reason, if you enjoyed this video, you enjoyed the education, you enjoyed all of the different, tools that I showed you here to help you, get better educated and making better decisions. If you liked it, please make sure to leave a thumbs up, like, drop a comment. Let me know what you like best about it. Let me know if you have any ideas or suggestions. Make sure to follow me on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and both Twitter platforms. If you only want to follow one, that's perfectly fine on Twitter. You don't have to follow both, but I'd recommend following all channels so that way if any platform is lagging or not working or having some type of a technical issue, you'll be able to just switch over to the other one and just be able to tune in and have a smooth transition and not lose the opportunity to hear on the information. If you missed any part of this, the recaps will be available on all of those 5 platforms that I just mentioned. It should show up instantly as soon as I end this broadcast, and you should be able to start it from beginning to end. And you can go ahead and just enjoy it and go for the ride. And all the other videos and live streams that I've done are also available on all those same platforms that I just showed you, and they are all available for recap. So if you missed anything before, as I was stating, in some parts of this video where I would say, okay, yeah, so my last video, so yeah, you'll have the opportunity where you can go ahead and click on those videos, because if you scroll through these platforms, you'll notice the videos, not only the current, but also the older videos, are there as well for you to recap. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I want to thank everyone who joined from the beginning, from the middle. If you watched it all the way through to the end, I want to thank you so much. I appreciate the love, the support, and everyone. The recap will be available on all the platforms that I just showed you. So make sure to tune in. And again, I have one specific person that follows me and tunes in from Twitch at the best guy in the biz on my channel. That's my channel, the best guy in the biz on Twitch. I have one specific person that I want to thank, because that person always tunes in to my videos, especially when it comes to the updates or the positive news or the impact of the crypto space. I see that this is something you enjoy, and I want to give you a shout out, even though I may not know your name or I may not have met you or known you specifically. I want to give you a shout out because you, my friend, are the GOAT. You are the real MVP, and you are the Hall of Fame, the number one person that always shows me support every single time when I'm doing these videos, especially, again, when I said in the crypto space. I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank anyone else who joined in. And I want to say, stay tuned. Any more news and updates that I have will be coming very soon. And again, I appreciate my number one fan, my number one follower, my number one supporter from the Twitch platform. I hope you have a great evening, a great morning, because for some of us, it's going to be a morning. And I thank you for tuning in always, whether it's at 3 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 or 7 a.m., midnight, etc. You're the GOAT. You're the real MVP. I want to thank everyone else who tuned in as well. Stay safe out there, guys. Stay blessed, and go out there and do your best to try to make money. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but use all the tools and resources and all the education that has been provided and utilized. Thank you again. Have a great day. Be blessed. Have fun. Rest up. Hydrate. And we'll be talking soon. Peace.